Al.
Yeah, Ab.
It's November 8th. All right, we had a big week. We're going to get into all of that. But first, this is That Mortgage Show. I'm Adam. You're Al.
I'll be Al.
You be Al. I'll be Adam. A couple of mortgage guys that will love being funny. We love delivering what's going on to the world of YouTube and to viewer. But what it really comes down to is we're here. We want to help folks with their mortgages. We want to keep people informed. We want to be informed ourselves. Ultimately, we keep the lights on by doing mortgages. So we want to help people with their mortgages. Anybody out there that has a need for information, for a plan, or to execute on a mortgage, we're here to help.
It's a good point. There's nothing Adam likes doing more than sitting on here and talking about graphs and data and unemployment rates. So if we can do more mortgages, we can keep Adam in this chair doing exactly that. So help us do that.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So with that out of the way, let's get into our show. Al, what do you think we got? What do we got on the docket today?
So let's talk about what we got on the docket today. Trump wins. Now what? Right? How's that going to impact us? How's that going to affect us? What can we expect? Let's take a look at home values after the seven out of the last 8 presidential elections. Well, we'll take a look at all 8 of them. 7 of them are similar. Musk Media, right? We're seeing a bit of a shift in the media, right? Where we get our information, right? So we're going to take a peek into that.
Omaha.
And then mortgage applications, right? Let's take a look at what's some of the data that's come out and how that's going to has impacted, and will impact mortgage applications.
Cool. All right, so first things first, let's get into what happened day of. So doing a little screen share here from CBS News. So I'll just read the headline for you. Dow soars 1,500 points after Trump election win, with investors banking on higher corporate profits. The Dow Jones jumped 1,500 points in the day of his election, a historic daily gain. The 10-year Treasury bond yield, which we always talk about, affects rates, spiked to 4.4%, driving interest rates up momentarily. In the stock market, banking stocks surged. Everybody's out there thinking he's going to deregulate and the banks are going to go wild, make a bunch of money. And again, Bitcoin's pumping. It hit a new high of 76,000. Alvin, what do you think?
Yeah, no, wild stuff. As far as the 10-year Treasury bill goes, some people say that the writing was on the wall as far as who they thought was going to win based on what that was doing prior to the election. That because that was trending up, that was an indication that Trump was going to win, right?
Yeah.
So some people kind of saw that one coming. The rest of it, it's pretty crazy to see the Dow jump that much, to see, you're already starting to see news of Hamas wanting to talk about, negotiations, and Putin wanting to talk about negotiations all, in one day after the election. So some pretty crazy shifts that we're seeing so soon, right? And then obviously some of the other things that are going to come in the next couple of weeks and months.
Yeah.
So.
Well, right now it's, read and react time. Some folks are speculating and things are moving and shaking, even with, like you said, months before he's going to be inaugurated. But Trump's victory does suggest policies of low taxes and high tariffs. He's been very clear about that. Not sure if that is going to cause fears of inflation. That's some grumblings. And yeah. I don't know if that's people poo-pooing or if it's people that know what they're talking about. And I'm also not sure if those low taxes and high tariffs are going to affect the Federal Reserve's current plan to lower interest rates aggressively.
Yeah.
They did lower the federal funds rate yesterday by 25 basis points. November 7th they met. So it's been a really busy week, but they lowered they stayed the plan and lowered by 25 basis points. That was already cooked in. Rates didn't move at all after that. I mean, slight improvement, but nothing to write home about. And they're also saying there's a really high likelihood of them continuing to do that into December. So, Alvin, what can you say about the Federal Reserve rate decision yesterday?
Yeah, so there's one thing I could say with absolute certainty as far as taxes and tariffs go. and this is a guarantee, we have no idea because we are not economists. But one thing I can say with certainty is what's going to happen when the 10-year Treasury falls. And that's what we're seeing, right? So Fed meeting announced the rate decision, right? They said they were going to cut it by 25 bips, the Fed funds rate. And we saw the 10-year Treasury react to that, start to come down a touch, and rates follow, right? And this is the exact same thing that we saw in September. When they announced the rate cut, we saw the 10-year Treasury bond start to trend down just from the announcement, right? And kind of the damage was already done. Rates had already dropped by the time the cut actually happened. So I think we're going to see a lot of the same. Earlier in the week, before the election, as I said, the 10-year Treasury was going up. Even after the election, 10-year Treasury was going up. And what does that mean? That means rates were pushing up, got a little bit over 7. And then once the announcement came that the Fed funds rate was going to be cut by 25 basis points, that 10-year Treasury started to come down, and rates came down with it. So seeing them just under 7 right now, and hopefully that trend continues. Sorry to get down in the weeds on you there, folks.
It's definitely the plan, and let's take a quick peek real quick. So here we go. Can you see this, Alvin?
I can see it.
So we've got the 10-year Treasury, the 10-year Treasury bond. So it's right now it's at 4.312. Just to give you an idea, when rates were at their lowest, recent lowest, it was down about 3. It was right in the mid 3s, 3.6. It looks like it was about September 16th. Rates hit the low 6s toward the end of September, and you can see from this graph they've gone up since. Okay.
Yeah. So the way that was right around when they made the decision. They'd already announced that they were going to cut it prior to that, and that's when you saw the interest rate, the 10-year Treasury come down, and then right around where they hit their lowest is when that cut actually happened, and then all of a sudden they started to tick back up. So I think we're going to see the same thing here. We're already starting to see it.
Yep, absolutely. Good point. And I've been getting a lot of texts and emails from past clients and stuff about, hey, what's going on with rates? In fact, I had somebody text me this morning and say, hey, what's going on with rates? And I said, they're in the mid 6s right now. This is a VA guy, mid 6s right now. And he was like, what? Question mark, question. No way. What? I thought they lowered rates. So, I get it if you're feeling that way. But look, here's the thing. 3.6, they were in the high 5s, low 6s, and we've gone up almost every day with some blips in the radar. Since then, we spiked recently, and we've come back down below the 4.3. But let's look for the 10-year to dip below 4 for some true rate movement where people are going to actually be able to take advantage.
And every one of those days that you see it climb there, you can pretty much guarantee that there were some depressing text messages exchanged between Adam and I. That's a guarantee. When's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? Right?
Stay positive. Stay positive.
Yeah, and now you're going to see a lot of positivity here. Now that they announced it, we're going to see the rates come down. So a lot of positive text messages incoming, right? A lot of motivation.
A lot of love and happiness. So,
love and happiness.
All right. Well, that'll wrap up that. Let's jump into the next segment, the next screen share that I got. So, all right. So, can you see this, Alvin?
I can see it.
All right, cool. So we've got Broke Agent Media, or this handle is now BAM Media. They're great. They're hilarious guys. They're very smart. They are obviously taking advantage of the hype around the election, and they're providing some information here. So I found it interesting, and I wanted to share too. So all credit to these folks for posting it. But let's take a look at it. Existing home prices increased after 7 of the last 8 presidential elections. So we got 92, 96, 2000, 2004. 2008 is the only year that prices went down following the election. 2012 they went up, 2016 and 2020. So, what does this mean? Well, you could look at it and just say, well, house prices always go up. It's not necessarily dependent upon the party. It's not necessarily dependent upon really anything. House prices they go up. So of course, if you pick right,
and that blip in the radar, obviously there was something pretty impactful that happened in 2008.
This might not even have anything to do with the election. Now that we're like kind of looking at it, but the fact of the matter is, if you're somebody who's waiting or thinking that prices are going to fall, just continue to look at the graphs. Continue to look at this stuff like this.
We know you're
not. you're not going to get a big break. It's just not going to happen. It's not about
no. The guarantee is that, real estate goes up. Real estate's a great investment, right? So, and to your point, the folks that are sitting on the sideline thinking that all of a sudden values are going to go down, it's just not going to happen, right? Because this proves it, right? After every election, they go up. And then, as we've been talking about for months now, once rates go down, values go up, right?
Yeah.
Because the market gets competitive. So, it's happening.
Yeah, and you don't want to be sitting around offering on a house when rates go down and everybody else is. This is just a disaster. And it's just, you have to make quick decisions. Everybody's running around with their hair on fire. It's just like not a scenario you want to be in.
You're waiving, all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of contingencies you're throwing in there. You're throwing more money at the house to try to win the contract. It's just a lot. You don't want to be in that.
And we're talking about that scenario is going to happen when rates have a 5 in front of them.
Sure.
When rates are 5.75, which, we're talking about the difference between we're talking about 1 percentage point. Sure, it could be $500, $400, depending on the loan amount. But is it worth another 20, 30, or having to make a decision that, you walk the house at an open house and your realtor's telling you that they have 6 offers, you have to make a decision today.
Right.
You got to weigh that value. So real quick, since we stole their post and we're sharing it here, we'll just go to their page. 70,000 followers, so I don't really need to say much about it. But if you don't follow these guys, definitely go follow them. Check them out. They're awesome. Now, bam. That's enough of that. Guess we'll get into, I don't know, Al, what do you want to get into next?
I don't know, mortgage applications.
You want to take it to mortgage applications?
You want to chat about mortgage applications and see what applications are doing.
Yeah, I guess we'll pop over there to mortgage applications. So
pop over.
We're going to pop over. We're going to do a little bit of a pop. So mortgage rates, they continue to climb over the last couple of weeks. I just showed you the graph. Alan, I just talked about it. Sad texts, bad texts. They've been going up. So as they continue to rise, home buying and refinance activity continues to fall. As of last week, the average 30-year mortgage rate climbed by 8 basis points to 6.81%, the highest since July, and it marks a 67 basis point increase over the past 5 weeks, which is the quickest increase in 2 years. So not something that we want to see as two loan officers who's been waiting on rates to get a little bit better, so our phone starts ringing. You don't want to see, I don't want to be talking about any record in the last 2 years unless it's like a downward trend. Alvin, how are you feeling? What do you think about that?
I don't really know how to feel right now. There's a lot of nervous excitement in the air, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. As rates come down, we're going to see applications go up. And we saw it last time. That's when things kind of spiked. They got exciting, right? So I think as that starts to happen, you're really going to see a pretty big impact in terms of mortgage applications and people getting active, getting out there looking to refi, getting out there looking to do some things. You know what I'm saying?
Do some things, but and that is what I hope for. But in the here and now, mortgage applications have taken quite a bleak turn and quite a hit with the overall mortgage application index slipping 10.8% last week. Refinancing activity experienced its 6th consecutive drop. If you're listening to this, we're talking about mortgage applications dropping for the 6th straight week. Al and I are in the mortgage business.
Stop it. Really?
Applications are down for 6 straight weeks. Throw us a freaking bone here. Anyway.
Yeah.
They're at the lowest level since May. Home purchase applications also saw a decrease of 5%.
Yeah, which is, like I said, is expected, right? Rates go up. So when we saw that in September, we were looking at the little graph earlier. You love your graphs. When we looked at September, right? And prior to that, when rates were starting to come down, it was like applications were going up, up, up as rates came down. People were looking to buy. People were looking to refinance. It's the way things go. Rates come down, applications go up. So that's pretty much what we can expect, right, over the coming weeks, is that the rates are going to come down and mortgage interest rates are going to come down and applications go up. So what does that mean for you, Jackson and Khaleesi homeowner, right? We have to get modern with these names now. It's not Bill and Sue homeowner. It's Jackson and Khaleesi homeowner.
Jackson and Khaleesi? What does that mean?
That's what people are naming their kids these days.
All right, good.
So what does that mean? That means that you're going to have a nice little window coming up, right? To refinance, to access the equity in your home. Whether that's to pay off some bills, get some cash out, lower your interest rate, whatever it is, or take another peek at your pre-approval, get your loan officer to take a look at that and see maybe if you qualify for a little bit more, right? So, that's pretty much. That's what we're going to see, I think, over the next couple of weeks. Back to you, Cotton.
So we're going to wrap it up with something that I find really cool, really awesome. Yeah. I love independent media. I love independent journalism. I love the death of mainstream media. I cannot stand it. It's old. It's cold. It's got to go. And we're moving in the direction of people no longer being able to survive, no longer being able to trust the mainstream. They're too beholden to private money. They're too beholden to their investors' agenda. Of course, they're going to censor themselves and what they say if it affects their bottom line. These are so screw that business model. I love the YouTubers, the folks that are doing it in a freaking garage, reporting the news, getting down and dirty, the Charlie Kirks of the world. Rates,
Yes.
So obviously, as we're sitting here with these makeshift mics and plugged in, and who knows if it's done even right. So this tweet by Elon Musk really just pushed my buttons in a good way. So, and I think this is just like such a monumental thing to say. Look, whether you like him or not, whether you're Republican or Democrat, people are starting to demonize our modern day Thomas Edison. Like, this is the undoubtedly the smartest guy and one of the best minds that we have alive today, and people are shitting on him for no reason. Anyway,
done more for civilization than anybody, I think you could argue, than pretty much anybody in history, I think, and the things that he's trying to do, right? So.
Right. So let's share his tweet real quick and just let this. So he tweeted. Now he owns Twitter, one of the biggest media companies, if not the biggest, and he tweeted, "You are the media now." And he's not. He's talking to everybody. He's talking to the citizens. He's talking to people, and that should liberate people.
Yeah.
But a lot of folks will take it the wrong way and think like they want their news hand fed to them on a spoon,
right?
And filtered and whatever.
Well, I think that it's the older generation, right, that's so used to being able to turn on the news and getting an unbiased opinion, or I guess what you thought in the past was an unbiased opinion until we started to learn more about the money that's getting funneled into those organizations to push certain narratives and things. But I think it's the older generation. I think the younger generation does get their information from podcasts, from like you said, independent journalists. And I think that's great. I think that, regardless of which side you're on, you follow some people on the left, you follow some people on the right, and you kind of digest how you want to and what you think is accurate and inaccurate. But you saw, especially in this last election, the people that went on, how much that played in, people going on podcasts, right? And the exposure that they got and the amount of people they were able to reach. Now you saw that Adam and I and that mortgage show did not endorse any candidate because we didn't want to cause earthquakes, right? We don't want to use our power and influence for politics, right? We're here to talk about mortgages and rates and unemployment, right? So, but it is a very interesting shift. I think what Elon has done is basically saved free speech.
He saved free speech, and people think free speech is at a threat right now because the party that said openly and admittedly, Mark Zuckerberg admitted it, that things were censored. That is not free speech. Being able to censor social media and being able to bury things and tell the CEO of the biggest media company in the world that he cannot share certain things and take down certain things, that is not free speech. So
Yeah.
folks out there that are scared that that free speech. Jimmy Kimmel said it the other night that free speech. I'm scared for free speech, dude. What?
Speech is more free than it's ever been. And if you're talking about getting rid of misinformation and disinformation and hate speech, who gets to determine what's misinformation, disinformation, and hate speech? I think that's different depending on who you are and what your beliefs are. So, having a platform where everybody gets an opportunity to speak, and you see people saying terrible, awful things about Elon, right? That he's this and he's that. And he's like, yeah, you're allowed to say those things, right? That's what this country is built on. You can criticize the president and not get thrown in jail, right? That's how it's supposed to be. But again, we're very neutral. We don't endorse one side or the other. So.
We're a mortgage show.
We're a mortgage show, and we talk mortgage things, right?
I believe in one thing, and that is
Grass.
home loans. Home loans.
Okay.
I love one thing, and that is
Dot plots.
30-year fixed.
Missed it again. You gave me 2 opportunities, and both times I missed the mark.
All right. Should we just continue to just Twitter flicker off into the distance, or you just want to wrap this up? You want to put a bow in it, or should we just continue to ramble?
What else do you have? What else do you want to chit chat about?
I got nothing.
What
I got
other
nothing
interesting
else.
things?
I don't have anything else. If you've hung on this long, I would say thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Al and I are going to try and get a little more pointed about our purposeful about growing this YouTube thing and trying to actually do this. So with what comes with that is, maybe some shameless promotions, some shameless like and subscribe requests. But if you like Al, if you like his beard, if you're a fan of his comedy and his
most people are, I think 95%.
If you could, Al, give
I
a
hear it
little
all
bicep.
the time. Al is just this guy with great hair and a great beard with a personality that's larger than life. And I get that's true, but I'm so much more. Don't put me in a box, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Right? Yeah. I want my voice to be heard too. I have some opinions. So.
What you're saying is you're more than just a pretty face and and nice biceps.
Great personality, great hair, great beard, fun guy to be around, really funny jokes. Sure, but more, but so much more.
So much more, and it's almost like don't demean Al by just treating him like a piece of meat.
Hate that.
Sure, his hair is perfectly coiffed. His shirt fits wonderfully. I don't know where he got it, but he's definitely been putting the work in the gym to get there. I like
this fluff piece on Al. Let's go ahead and make a clip out of this. I'm going to post it on Instagram. First, I'm going to send it to my wife, and then I'm going to post it on Instagram.
Yeah. You don't need a clip. You don't need a clip made. Everybody already knows you. You feel seen, Al?
I feel like I could be seen a little bit more. I think we should keep this. Let's keep this bit going a little bit farther. What else do you want to say about that? No, this has been great. This is great. I love it. And you're also going to see, I think, one other thing that we're going to try to incorporate that we've done before that we really enjoyed is getting some guests on. Let's get some other opinions, right? Let's get some folks that are experts in other fields. Obviously we want to stick to kind of real estate and mortgages, but we're not afraid to branch out. We've branched out before.
We will branch out again.
Other things going on that impact, the
world.
World of mortgages or just the world in general, right? Impact life around us. So, should see a lot more of that.
Yeah, and the Elon thing. Sorry to get a little fired up there about that, but you need to separate yourself from the hatred of a certain person. Elon Musk is not a dumb person, and he's not a bigot, and he's incredible. He is incredible. And when he bought Twitter, he put out a couple rules. I think it was 7 rules for success. I would highly recommend checking that out. Maybe we'll look at that next week.
It's a good idea. I like that. Talk about how
all right,
Alvin.
Better,
a little bit more efficient. Yeah, that's good stuff, Ab. That was a good one. That was a great show. I think we hit the mark. A lot of information out there, a lot to digest. Sometimes feels like drinking out of a water hose. Just take it one step at a time, right?
All right. November 8th.
It's a
Bud at CFMTG.com. A DeSantis at CMTFTG. Just call us. 443-465-1050.
End it.
A Butt at CFMTG.com. A DeSantis at CFMTG.com. You might not know it yet. You may have not liked or subscribed. You may have not watched. You will reach out to Al or I for a mortgage in the next 2 years.
You're trying to hypnotize people? Is that what this is?
You will.
Are you practicing some sort of dark magic?
You will find a house that you love, and you will reach out to Alex Butt at abutt at CFMTG.com. The first at in that wasn't the sign. It was just saying that's his email address. You will reach out to him, and you will get a mortgage from Alex. He's going to pre-approve you, and you're going to buy your house. The house is going to be like $750,000. You're putting 20% down. You're going to love it. Your kids are going to love it. Your wife's going to love it. Come on. Just keep your wife. Just don't ever introduce your wife to Al, because we went over it. He's charming. He's handsome. He's got big biceps. He's got a great beard.
This is going the opposite way now. I think we're starting to trend the opposite way. People are not going to reach out to Al now. People don't want Al. You're trying to push people away from Al and towards Adam.
I don't care where they go, as long as it's one of us, and as long as it's from this YouTube channel. Let's get it. Let's finish our Friday strong.
Love that.
Peace.